projects through roundtables, panels, and networking events. The 2022 edition directly benefited 36 projects, contributing over $190 million to the Canadian economy and numerous jobs around the HRM. And a new report shows rising school violence in Nova Scotia. Violence in Nova Scotia's public schools is rising, according to a report by Auditor General Kim Adair. According to the McDonald Notebook, the Department of Education lacks clear data on the extent of the problem and does not have a provincial strategy to address it. Educators feel they aren't given the tools or training to handle violent incidents effectively, and there is no clear protocol for responding to them. Adair's report notes a 60% increase in reported violent incidents over the past 7 years, with 27,000 cases documented in the 2022-2023 school year. She recommends better data collection, enhanced training for staff, and a formalized system for reporting violence. And Premier Houston's Calgary meeting summarized. Premier Tim Houston is in Calgary from July 4th to 7th to promote Nova Scotia as a destination for healthcare innovation and major events. Houston will attend the Calgary Stampede and meet with officials from the upcoming Nova Scotia Stampede, which will debut this fall in Truro and Bible Hill. This event will feature professional radio competitions and support local businesses. Houston will also meet to discuss MRI technology and robotics for orthopedics, and also with Hockey Canada to explore bringing more major events to Nova Scotia. The province has committed $150,000 to support the Nova Scotia Stampede that is set for September 26th to 29th. And the RCMP charge a man following an assault with a weapon in Eastern Passage. RCMP HALIFAX Regional Detachment has charged a man after an assault in Eastern Passage. Officers responded to an incident on Government Wharf Road as an intoxicated man jumped into a fishing boat, grabbed a knife, and threatened 2 men and a woman on board. A 30-year-old man from Lakeside tackled and disarmed the attacker, who then punched him repeatedly on the shore. The victim escaped and called for help, sustaining minor injuries. Shortly after midnight, officers arrested 39-year-old Wallace Warwick England at a home on Howard Avenue. He is charged with assault and assault with a weapon and will appear in Dartmouth Provincial Court today. And in Seaside FM Sports, the Blue Jays continued a series today versus the Astros at home. That game ended with a final score of 5-3 for the Astros. In the CFL, the Toronto Argonauts traveled to Saskatchewan to play the Rough Riders. And in some breaking CFL news, Montreal Alouettes player Sean Lemon is suspended for 3 games for betting on CFL games, one of which he played in. That's sports. Weather is next. Seaside FM News Time is 6:04.
You know, it might be confusing to some, a bit overwhelming perhaps, as to where to invest these days. You know, you should invest, for what's the point of being 5 years older and not becoming at least 5 years richer? Markets may go down, then recover, but wasted time, you just don't get it back. Tune in every Thursday morning at 9:10 to the Financial Destination Show. It will be time well invested. Call 902-499-5879. This is Roger Hamilton. Until next time, stay safe and stay invested.
Preston, your easy listening favorites are on Seaside FM.
And the weather for tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 13. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy with a small chance of showers in the morning with a high of 24. Humidex of 27, and a UV index of high. In the night, cloudy with a low of 14. Saturday, cloudy with a high of 22. Overnight, cloudy with a chance of showers and a low of 16. For weather at any time, visit our website at seasidefm.com. I'm Daniel Briand.
The following program is brought to you in the high-powered sounds of 105.9 Seaside FM in conjunction with...
My My name is Charles Hsuen and I'm your host. December 21st, 1988. 1989.
My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome. 1990. And welcome to our second anniversary show.
My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome.
April 3rd, 1994. And welcome to our 6th anniversary show.
My name is Charles Hsuen and welcome.
Today's date is October 18th, 2004.
Welcome to Charles' Tape Series.
Welcome to the JSC.
Welcome to an evening with Charles Hsuen.
Welcome to the Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen.
CQHS Productions celebrating 36 years in broadcasting. A good Thursday evening, everyone. Today's date is July the 4th, Independence Day for our American friends, 2024. Welcome to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, your home for the best music. A pleasant good evening to all. I'm Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude. I bring you music until the program close. That's going to be down the line at 8 p.m. We are broadcasting to you live from our studios in the heart of Eastern Passage, and if you're picking us up on local radio, it's frequency modulation station signal 105.9 megahertz on your FM dial, online at seasidefm.com, Bell Align Digital TV channel 779, East Link Digital TV channel 952. You can also pick us up on one of our streaming sites, Facebook Live on our custom Facebook page, at Charles Halifax Radio is the handle, or you can go to my personal Facebook page, at Charles Hsuen, that's how you pronounce Hsuen, or, and add me as a friend. Or you can go to YouTube Live, Twitter, or Twitch TV, just search for my name, and July 4, and you'll enter any of those platforms and you'll be able to find me. And if you have an intelligent virtual assistant such as Siri, Alexa, or Google Home, you can ask it to play Seaside FM. And if you want to contact me, you can do it one of many ways. Lifting up your phone, giving us a shout here at 902-469-6000. You can message me on any messaging platform on a social media service and search Charles Hsuen and message me in real time, or go onto your email at requests@seasidefm.com. Yes, I have been away for 6 weeks. For those of you who do not know, I do have a day job, and for the last 6 weeks, been bringing in doctors, registering them in postgraduate medical education at Dalhousie University, and bringing some 800 plus doctors into the medical system here so that they can backfill and help our medical system, which is in great need with our population growing and our need for medical assistance. And so I have been doing that for 6 weeks, and every day, and managed to get most of them on July 1st service, which is what they start their training. And so I got back here for this particular broadcast on the 4th of July, but I will be away for the next couple of weeks because the TD Halifax Jazz Festival is up and running, and I will be hosting the Jill Barber concert at the St. Matthew's Church on Barrington Street in Halifax, as well as taking a little break. It's been quite a hectic few months, and I will be back for the rest of summer and be able to present to you some great music. Let's start things off, shall we? Here is Kat Edmondson, a great vocalist who is from down in the States, and she has put out many albums. Actually, she's from Houston, Texas, And she's put many albums of the Great American Songbook, but this one I think is an original of hers called Lucky. I heard it on the radio. I forgot how great it was. She recorded this in 2012 from her album Way Down Low. Here's Kat Edmondson to kick things off right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
Happiness feels like this. Your heart upon your sleeve. There's a place in time and space where we can all be free. So meet me at the rainbow's end. We don't even have to pretend that we know what it is we're looking for. We're looking for. Life is just a dream. Ooh, lucky you. Lucky, lucky me. Life is just a dream. Lucky you. Lucky, lucky me. Have you found higher ground, or are you lost at sea? Do you know where you go is where I want to be? So cast your troubles into the sky. They can be the stars in our eyes, and we can count them all another day from far away. Life is just a dream. Ooh, lucky you. Lucky, lucky me. Life is just a dream. Lucky, lucky me.
Now more accessible than ever, watch and listen to Evening Solitude on Twitter, Periscope, LinkedIn by typing Charles Hsuen. That's Hsuen.
The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, and then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind, like painted kites, those days and nights, they went flying by. The world was new beneath a blue umbrella sky. Then softer than a piper man, one you to the summer wind. The autumn wind and the winter winds, they have come and gone. And still the days, those lonely days, they go on and on. And guess who sighs his lullabies through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind. The summer wind, warm summer wind, the summer wind.
Frank Sinatra from that great 1966 date that he recorded, which was called Strangers in the Night, and that he scored his last #1 recording in the pop charts. And then they hastily put in Nelson Riddle and Frank Sinatra an album together after the gold record came out of Strangers in the Night, and recorded 9 other songs and released it under Frank Sinatra's Reprise label. And one of them was Summer Wind. It used the Hammond B3 organ, and it was one of those recordings where I can stomach the Hammond B3 organ in a way in which it actually did not hinder or date the sound as much. It's a classic recording. But if you read in some of the behind the scenes of Strangers in the Night, Nelson Riddle was practically rushing to the point in which they were in the recording studios and he's still writing on manuscript paper some of the parts. And I guess rushing and working under pressure made some very, very classic songs, and that being one of them, Summer Wind, Strangers in the Night with Ernie Freeman and his orchestra. And it was Sinatra in his pinnacle year of 1965-66 as he was celebrating his 50th birthday. And there was such a retrospective of his career during that time. Can you think of a person who had been around for over half his life on the pop charts and in the music scene, already having a retrospective of his life at the age of 50? I thought that was quite interesting. Before that, Kat Edmondson and her album 2012 with the song Lucky, a wonderful, sweet voice of Kat Edmondson. While I was away, and just shortly before I did my show, on the 12th of May, we lost a great musician, a person who is not generally in the forefront of the music scene, but was a huge player, and many session musicians knew this person. And if you were a David Letterman fan, you would see him sometimes sit in with Paul Schaefer and the CBS Orchestra, or the World's Most Dangerous Band, which was the previous orchestra that David Letterman had on the Late Night with David Letterman show on NBC. I'm talking of saxophonist Dave Sanborn. And Dave Sanborn played so many great pieces of music and recorded with some of the great artists. And we're going to play a couple of pieces of music now that were classic, that are not part of the Great American Songbook, but are almost 50 or over 50 years old. And I just wanted to, it's an unmistakable saxophone sound. He played alto saxophone. He was very, very strong. And he played everything from jazz to instrumental pop to R&B. And these were his first 2 recordings that made him famous in 1975-76. I'm going to play How Sweet It Is to Be in Love by You by James Taylor, and then Don't Be Blue by Michael Franks. 2 very different songs, but you can unmistakably hear the soloist of the great Dave Sanborn, who we lost at the age of, I believe, 78, yes, on the 12th of May, 2024. Here's David Sanborn, first with James Taylor and How Sweet It Is.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. understand my ups and downs. There you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Feels so fine. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, it seems I've been there before. But you're bright enough for me all of my days. With a love so sweet in so many ways. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. Oh, yes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. It's just like sugar sometimes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Whoa, yeah. You were better to me than I was to myself. For me, there's you, and there ain't nobody else. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. And thank you, baby. Oh, yes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, now, how sweet it is to be loved by you. It's like jelly, baby. Oh, now, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Just like honey to the bee, baby. Yeah, now, how sweet it is to be loved by you.
Ballads, torch songs, and instrumentals to color your mood. This is Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen on Seaside FM.
Don't be blue, you ain't got far to go. You see better when you're moving slow. Don't get locked into your sadness. Copper bluff, strut your stuff. If you stumble, just be tongue in cheek. Love is always just like hide and seek. Anthony Cleopatra did too. So just don't be blue. High-speed hassle gets you down. Remember, everyone is lost until they're found.
the sun is bound to shine. After winter comes the summertime. If you're locked into your sadness, cup of love, strut your stuff. If you stumble, just be tongue in cheek. Love is always just like hide and seek. Romeo, Juliet did it too. So don't be blue. Just don't be blue.
Michael Franks and the great David Sanborn, one of the premier session musicians on alto saxophone. That was Don't Be Blue. Michael Franks' big hits of The Art of Tea and Eggplant and so many other great songs in 1975. Also in that year, James Taylor with How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. Also David Sanborn doing that unmistakable, loud and boisterous and strong saxophone soloing there in the midst of those two big hits in the mid-1970s. My name is Charles Hsuen. This is Evening Solitude, bringing you music until the program close. That's going to be down the line at 8 p.m. One of the people who is a dear friend is vacationing now in the Baltics and is in Helsinki right now. And this morning, he knows that I'm a huge public transit person, especially for streetcars, trolley cars, trams, whatever you call it, from where you're from. And he's been showing me all of these wonderful European, Russian, and old trolley cars, and I've been sort of identifying them. And so he was having, I guess, a drink at a cafe, and he showed one vehicle that I totally recognize, and it was a rolling pub. It was a streetcar that had a pub inside that you can go in and have a libation or two with tables and so forth. And then he got along in there with his brothers and showed me a picture. So he says, why don't you play a trolley song for me? He's listening to us in Helsinki. So here, of course, the trolley song that is all trolley songs, Judy Garland from Meet Me in St. Louis. Here's Judy Garland and the trolley song.
My high starch collar and my high top shoes and my hair piled high upon my head, I went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley and lost my heart instead. With his light brown derby and his bright green tie, he was quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10, then I counted to 10 again. Clang went the trolley, ding, ding, ding went the bell, zing, zing, zing went my heartstrings. From the moment I saw him I fell. Chug, chug, chug went the motor, bump, bump, bump went the brake, thump, thump, thump went my heartstrings. When he smiled I could feel the car shake. He tipped his hat and took a seat. He said he hoped he hadn't stepped upon my feet. He asked my name, I held my breath. I couldn't speak because he scared me half to death. Buzz, buzz, buzz went the buzzer. Plop, plop, plop went the wheels. Stop, stop, stop went my heartstrings. As he started to go, then I started to know how it feels when the universe reels.
The day was bright, the air was sweet, the smell of honeysuckle charmed you off your feet. You tried to sing, but couldn't squeak. In fact, you loved him so you couldn't even speak.
Buzz, buzz, buzz went the buzzer. Plop, plop, plop went the wheel. As he started to leave, I took hold of his sleeve with my hand, and as if it were planned, he stayed on with me, and it was grand just to stand with his hand holding mine to the end of the line. Clang, clang, clang with the trolley, clang, clang with the trolley. Sing, sing, sing with my
To you, the Great American Songbook from the 20th century and beyond. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen on Seaside FM.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's the Page Kavanaugh Trio, and that was a live performance of the great Georgia on My Mind, the unofficial anthem of the state of Georgia, which was declared in 1977 by the great Ray Charles, who made one of the definitive versions of that great song. But it is a Hoagie Carmichael composition. A lot of people thought it was Johnny Mercer, but it is a Hoagie Carmichael composition and has been interpreted many different ways. In fact, the very first time I heard Georgia on My Mind was not from a Great American Songbook Standard, but it was from the great 1984 album that was put out of standards by Willie Nelson. Unfortunately, I've just heard Willie Nelson is not well these days. He's aged 91. He had to cancel his most recent tour, but he still keeps on playing, and hopefully he'll be back on the road again. No pun intended. We are going to now hear sounds by the great Doris Day. Here's Doris Day with the great Frank Duvall and his orchestra doing Irving Berlin's great Hooray for Hollywood.
Hooray for Hollywood, that screwy valley, hooey Hollywood, where any office boy or young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking pan. And any barmaid can be a star maid if she dances with or without a fan. Hooray for Hollywood, where you're terrific if you're even good, where anyone at all from TV's Lassie to Monroe's Chassis is equally understood. Go out and try your luck. You might be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood. Hooray for Hollywood, that phony super coney Hollywood. They come from Chillicothe and Paducahs with their bazookas to get their names up in lights, all armed with photos from local rotos, with their hair in ribbons and legs in tights. Hooray for Hollywood. You may be homely in your neighborhood, but if you think that you can be an actor, see Mr. Factor. He'd make a monkey look good. Within a half an hour, you'll look like Tyrone Power. Hooray for Hollywood.
The great Doris Day with Hooray for Hollywood, and a great anthem for the actors and actresses in the motion picture industry as well as television, and that was written for all those folks, the anthem by Irving Berlin. We are now going to be hearing sounds. I guess we celebrated our birthday here in Canada this past weekend, but we didn't have great weather. But I do play this each and every year, and for a very special individual who listens to the Evening Solitude program, as well as Seaside FM, Don Gauthier. And Don was a big Red Skelton fan, and he always does request his music. And in 1989, at 76 years old, Red Skelton did a recording, a personal recording, that he then released on his own label. This is coming off of the heels in 1969, where he interpreted the Pledge of Allegiance for the United States, and it was a big hit that was released on a single. So a cut to Canada, which he loved playing so often because he loved Toronto, and he got his career started at the Shays Theater, which is located across from the old City Hall. And he was with Frank Sinatra and Burt Lancaster and so many other people in the vaudeville circuit way back in the 1930s. And so when Red Skelton came to Canada, he would play 3 or 4 shows at the O'Keefe Centre or Roy Thompson Hall, and he decided that he was going to interpret, an American interpreting from Indiana, interpreting our national anthem. And so as a tribute to Canada, I play this every year for Don Gauthier right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. And here it is.
I'm a 76-year-old visitor in your country, and I've always felt that Canada was more than a neighbor, for we've always shook hands across the border and never our fists. The other day, I heard your national anthem being sung. Some of the voices were loud, some mumbled the words, some slipped through like it had become monotonous to them. Or could it have been that they do not know the meaning of those words? If I may, I would like to recite your national anthem and give you the meaning that I received from the words. O Canada, I see mountains and valleys and rivers and trees. It's truly Mother Nature's warehouse. Our home and native land, a place where families live with dignity on rich soil that shares food and beauty. True patriots, patriotism, a pride, a privilege to say, I, me, an individual, a committee of one, dedicate all of my worldly good to give without self-pity. Love in all thy sons command, that powerful youth that gives all their love and devotion, holding a standard with a maple leaf high in the air, for it's a symbol of courage, and wherever she waves there is respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, a warmth that incubates incentive, wisdom that sees beyond superstition and ignorance. The true north, she's that compass needle that points to inspiring realities. Strong, courage beyond that struggle to find a dream and make it come true. Free, that right of power for one to live his own life without fears, threats, or any sort of retaliations. From far and wide, not just to the horizon, but beyond creeds, protests, and symbols, but with an insight and understanding for all. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee, not that we want to flaunt our strength, but to be capable of facing the strongest should that enemy appear. God, keep our land glorious and free. That means justice, the principle and qualities of dealing fairly with others. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. We protect all doctrines and share thy spirit with logic and reason. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee, so we can say to a neighbor, it's as much my country as it is yours. O Canada.
Red Skelton from 1989 with his tribute to Canada from his own penmanship. He wrote a short story, a composition, and a love letter to his wife every single day. And he left a legacy of over 8,000 compositions, original compositions that are now stored in his own library, the Red Skelton Archive, along with his paintings. A very multi-talented individual. That one sent out for Don Gauthier and in tribute to our birthday on July 1st of Canada Day. We are now going to pay tribute to our friends down south. It is Independence Day, and in 1992, my high school, the Markham District High School Wind Ensemble, directed by Ross Joll, competed in the Kiwanis Music Festival, which is an annual festival where all of the competing schools with music programs get together and play the same song, and then would compete and be judged, and then they would get an award. We won the A class that year, and then took our band down to Chicago and New York and played this particular version. And still, it has held up all of these years. From 1992, 32 years ago, live at Markham Theater, here's yours truly introducing Ross Joll and the Markham District High School Wind Ensemble with John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever. And if you hear some clarinet, that could be me. And here it is.
QHS Productions presents the Markham District High School Wind Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Ross Joll, performing Stars and Stripes Forever by John Philip Sousa, recorded live at Markham Theater on Wednesday, December 2nd, 1992.
Broadcasting live and direct to you from the heart of Eastern Passage. This is Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen on Seaside FM.
Mistakes, we both still got room left to grow. losing every day. Sometimes it's heaven sent, then we head back to hell again. We kiss, then we make up on the way. I hang up, you call, we rise and we fall. We feel just like walking away. As our love advances, we take second chances. Though it's not a fantasy, I still want you to stay. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. 'Cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. This time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. Yeah, this time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. Maybe we'll live and learn. Maybe we'll crash and burn. Maybe you'll stay. Maybe you'll leave. Maybe you'll return. Maybe another fight. Maybe we won't survive. Maybe we'll grow. We never know. Baby, you and I, we're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. 'Cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. 'Cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. This time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. This time we'll take it slow.
The lovely Kelly Lee Evans with John Legend's Ordinary People. She is a wonderful vocalist who's been on Broadway. That's from her album I Remember When. And I really like that arrangement of that John Legend song. Before that, in 1992, December, our Christmas concert, actually, live at Markham Theatre, which is now the Flatow Markham Theatre. That is my high school, the Markham District High School. And that was a band, the Markham District High School Wind Ensemble, comprised of grade 11, 12, and 13. We did have grade 13 back then, students in the music program. And that is from our Kiwanis award-winning version of John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever, sent out for our American friends on this Independence Day. We are now going to leave you with one piece of music before we kick off our second hour and conclude our first hour. Here is Cleo Lane, Dame Cleo Lane, and she was married to Johnny Dankworth. And this is a wonderful rendition of Riding High, which is a great standard that was featured in the 1950 motion picture starring Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis called Some Like It Hot, along with Marilyn Monroe. And here is Cleo Lane singing. Now, Cleo had a 5-octave range voice. She's still around at the age of 96. We lost Johnny Dankworth a number of years ago, and Johnny was a great reed player, played saxophone and clarinet and flute, and he did all of the arrangements for Cleo Lane. And this shows you the versatility and the wonderful arranging of this great song they recorded in 1992. Here's Riding High.
Love had sucked me, simply knocked me for a loop. Love had ditched me till you fished me from the soup. Now together we can weather anything. So please don't splutter if I should mutter. Life's great, life's grand, future all planned, no more sky. How am I riding? I'm riding high. Someone I love, mad for my love. So long, Jonah, goodbye. How am I riding? I'm riding high, floating on a starlit ceiling, gloating on the cards I'm dealing, doting because I'm feeling so happy. I'm slap happy. So ring bells and sing songs, blow horns and beat guns. Our love never will die. How am I riding? I'm riding high. I've got a lovely feeling, life's grand. And what is more, my future's all planned. I just can't see a single cloud in the sky. How am I riding? I'm riding high. I've got a man I know that I love, someone who's simply mad for my love. So, Mr. Jonah, you can kiss me goodbye. How am I riding? I'm riding high. So happy, I'm slap happy. So ring those bells and sing those songs, blow the horns, beat the guns. Our love never would die. So I'm revealing my inner feelings to ring those bells. Let me show you how to sing those songs. You really gotta blow the horn, then you really gotta beat the guns. I know you're gonna understand that our love never will die. I'm always happy. I'm always happy when I'm riding.
CFEP is 105.9.
Welcome back to the second of 2 hours right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. We have just concluded a rousing rendition of Ridin' High by Dame Cleo Lane and her husband Johnny Dankworth and his orchestra. That one recorded in 1992, and originally a song that was featured in that motion picture called Some Like It Hot, where Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon dressed up as women, along with Marilyn Monroe, with antics going in to try and elude some mob bosses. A great motion picture, which I had the good fortune of watching with my parents on the River Thames on a boat. They had a floating theater on a boat on the River Thames in London on my first trip with my parents to merry old England, and they gave us Bluetooth headphones, and we watched it in a inflatable screen while floating along the Thames. It was a great experience. We are now going to hear sounds on a tribute to for a very special caller who calls in most every week. This is the first year of the passing of his wife, and he had requested that I play Bob Hope's Thanks for the Memories. A lot of people don't know where this originated from. They all wondered why Bob Hope, whenever he would walk on talk shows, they would play Thanks for the Memories. And it was because he was in a short scene with Shirley Ross in the big broadcast of 1939. And this became his signature theme. And it was always grand whenever you would hear that theme song and Bob would come out striding along and doing his stand-up monologue. Here's Bob Hope and Shirley Ross in the original version, sent up for that very special listener right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
Thanks for the memory of sentimental verse, nothing in my purse, and chuckles when the preacher said, for better or for worse.
How lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of Schubert's serenade, little things of jade, and traffic jams and anagrams and bills we never paid.
How lovely it was. We who could laugh over big things were parted by only a slight thing.
I wonder if we did the right thing. Oh, well, that's life, I guess.
I love your dress.
Do you?
It's pretty.
Thanks for the memory of faults that you forgave, rainbows on a wave,
and stockings in the basin when a fellow needs a shave. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the memory of tinkling temple bells, alma mater yells,
and Cuban rum and towels from the very best hotels.
Ah, how lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of cushions on the floor, hashed with Dinty Moore, that pair of gay pajamas that you bought and never wore.
Say, by the way, whatever became of those pajamas?
Huh?
Huh?
We said goodbye with a highball.
Then I got as high as a steeple.
Did you?
But we were intelligent people.
No tears, no fuss.
Hooray for us.
Strictly ingenue. Darling, how are you?
And how are all those little dreams that never did come true?
Awfully glad I met you.
Cheerio and toodaloo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hear the crooners, the big bands, the small groups, and more. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, the home of good music. Center for a Special Listener, a double play, two very different versions. The original version of Thanks for the Memories with Shirley Ross and the great Bob Hope in the big broadcast of 1939. And then you had Les Brown, his band Renown, who played for Bob Hope over 50 years on the Bob Hope Special. That's the version that you would usually hear when Bob would be introduced, a big swinging version of Thanks for the Memories, but that was the signature tune. And I miss that. I miss people's personalities who actually had their own theme song whenever they would walk on. That was what you would hear. You would hear My Buddy by Buddy for Buddy Hackett. You would hear Frank Sinatra. You would hear New York, New York. You would hear The Candyman for Sammy Davis Jr. Dean Martin. You would hear You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You. These were iconic people who had their own theme song, and I find that absolutely fascinating. So thank you very much for that, listener, and as we pay tribute to his late wife, this is the first anniversary of his late wife's passing. Okay, we are going to hear now, since we had a little bit of Bob Hope, we're going to hear now Bing Crosby. This is one of the first radio broadcasts I listened to when I was a kid and got the ear for old-time radio. This comes from December the 4th, 1946, with guest star Jimmy Durante on the Bing Crosby Pepsodent Philco show. Philco was a brand of television sets that looked very modern. Even today, it had that space-age quality where it was a suspended picture tube that hung on two swivels on either side on a box on the bottom. And it also released its very first color television in the 1950s when color television was very new at the time. We're going to be hearing two great songs by Bing Crosby, and these are my favorite songs because it would be a radio broadcast that I will listen to before I would go to bed. And sometimes if I have insomnia or if I'm stressed out, I would listen to this particular radio broadcast where Bing Crosby sings two of my favorite songs, A Girl in Calico and Then It's Heaven. So here is the original twin songs with a Philco television commercial in between the two songs with announcer Ken Carpenter. Let's have a listen now.
I met a gal in Calico down in Santa Fe. Used to be her Sunday beau till I rode away. Do I want her? Do I want her love? Yes, sirree. Will I win her? Will I win her love? Wait and see. Working with a rodeo, go from town to town. See most every kind of gal, every kind of gown. But who made my heart sing? Yippee-I, hippie-oh, my little gal in calico.
You can have your gals dressed in silk and satin, those who drape their shape and drape their sheen. Take your city gals who go around Manhattan, thinking they look swell in velveteen. When they're wrapped in sable, we're not able to imagine how they look.
I'm just a country boy, and any country boy knows a fancy cover doesn't make a fancy book.
Knows a fancy cover doesn't make a book.
I'll take my gal in calico,
Calico,
down in Santa Fe.
Santa Fe, Santa Fe.
I guess I'd better let her know
Yippee-ki-yo,
that I feel this way.
yippee-ki-yay.
Is she waiting? Is she waiting? She'd better be. Am I hoping to be roping her? Yes, sirree. I'm gonna quit the rodeo, gonna settle down, buy a bolt of calico, for a wedding gown. Then will I fence her in? Yippee-I, ho-ho, my little gal in calico.
Yippee-I, yippee-oh, little gal calico.
Yippee-ti,
Tie-yi-tie-yi-tie-yi-tie-oh. That was Gal and Calico, the big tune in Warner Brothers' sprightly musical, The Time, the Place, and the Girl. Romantic thought.
Ah, but Bing, wouldn't it be more romantic if you had the time, the place, and Philco?
Oh, you're leaving out the best part, the young lady.
Well, those Philcos really get the gals.
You mean you can ride down the street in the Philco and whistle out of it and get some action?
No, not exactly, Bing, but, well, you take that Philco 1201. Now, there's a really new kind of radio phonograph where you just put a record in the slot and it plays. Now, that obviously attracts a more favorable type of attention than just whistling.
Have you made competitive tests in front of Hollywood High?
Well, not with the 1201, Bing. For outdoor dating, the new Philco Portable has greater appeal. It's really a powerhouse. Besides, it's light and compact and uses the same type of tubes as the Army's walkie-talkie. Now, just suppose the time were next summer and the place a canoe. Can't you visualize the big play you'd get with the gal if you had a Philco Portable along?
Well, can it paddle, too?
Oh, sure.
Anyhow, it's a little chilly for canoeing so close to Christmas time, Ken. I think folks are more interested in what you're offering for indoor listening.
Oh, it's a cinch, Bing. This Christmas, you'll find the biggest selection of new Philco radios and radio phonographs since before the war. Give any one of them, and you're sure of giving the newest thing in radio from Philco, the leader.
Once again, romance raises its comely kisser in a new tune, a tune entitled, And Then It's Heaven. John? A dream is just a dream until I dream of you. And then it's heaven. A kiss is just a kiss until I'm kissing you. And then it's heaven. The ordinary things I always do with you become the most important things I'll ever do. And words are only words till you say I love you. And then it's heaven. A dream is just a dream, a dreaming of you. And then it's heaven. A kiss is just a kissing you. And then it's heaven. The ordinary things I always do with you become the most important things I'll ever do. Words are only words till you say I love you. And then it's heaven.
Bing Crosby and John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, along with the marionettes, and that is the Philco Hour of Bing Crosby's radio show, recorded on the 4th of December, 1946. Now, the reason why that sounds so good is that Bing Crosby, after the war, brought back the BASF tapes and these Studer tape recorders from Germany, as he found out that magnetic technology and tape recording were superior to the analog cutting discs and transcription recordings that were done here in the United States. And so when he brought them back, he could actually cut and edit jokes that didn't work and add laugh tracks to jokes that fell flat, and also be able to record the radio show just once so he can play it both on the East Coast and the West Coast. because back then one would have to record the radio show in the East Coast, and then they would, in the West Coast, get a lesser quality or actually do the show twice. And he wanted to play golf, and so this was one of the reasons. So before Bing brought the tape recorder and made it popular, a lot of the radio network executives said, we don't want you to pre-record. But a year later, afterwards, when Bing said that it worked and he had a better quality show, most 90% of the radio shows then transferred onto tape. And so that's the story. There is I Met a Gal in Calico, and then it's Heaven. John Scott Trotter and the orchestra backing up Bing Crosby with special guest star Jimmy Durante. It is summer now, and it's 21 minutes past 7 p.m. It is summer, and we usually, as a tradition, play this wonderful piece of music. A lot of people really like Louis Armstrong's version of What a Wonderful World, but this is my favorite song, and it was also known that Louis Armstrong thought that this was his favorite song, too. It was written for a Broadway show called The Real Ambassadors with Dave and Iola Brubeck. Recorded in 1956, here is Summer Song by the great Louis Armstrong.
Love to me is like a summer day, silent 'cause there's just too much to say, still and warm and peaceful, even clouds that may drift by can't disturb our summer sky. I'll take summer, that's my time of year. Winter's shadows seem to disappear. Gayest, warmest season, that's the reason I can say that I love a summer day. I hear laughter from the swimming hole, kids out fishing with the willow pole, boats come drifting round the bend. Why must summer ever end? Love to me is like a summer day. If it ends, the memories will stay, still and warm and peaceful. Now the days are getting long, I can sing my summer song. I hear laughter from the swimming hole, kids out fishing with the willow pole, boats come drifting round the bend. Why must summer ever end? Oh, love to me is like a summer's day. If it ends, the memories will stay, still and warm and peaceful. Now the days are getting long, I can sing my summer song.
Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Bing Crosby, and the great artists of the 20th century. Broadcasting to you live from the heart of Eastern Passage, this is Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. That is Summer Sun. That was from the Swedish group Coop, who uses a lot of samples from different pieces of music and then creates a background. And that is Yukimi Nagamo, who was 16 at the time and sang that song, Summer Sun. Also, before that, we heard Louis Armstrong with the Dave Brubeck Quartet, and that is the great song, Summer Song, that was written for the Real Ambassadors in 1956 on the Columbia 30th Street Studios, and that has been reported as Louis Armstrong's most favorite piece of music that he ever recorded. Well, it is time now to do a little business with you, and that is time to actually get the weather call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area for you. And that includes getting the song ready, which I did not have until just now. And here it is.
What's tomorrow's weather? What's the low? What's the high? Will it be wet or dry?
Your Metro Weather Call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area for this Thursday, July the 4th. Tonight, a few clouds, increasing cloudiness late in the evening, fog patches developing after midnight with a low of 13 degrees Celsius. Friday, mainly cloudy, a 30% chance of showers in the morning. Highs of 24 except 17 along parts of the coast. Humidex at 27, UV index reading at 7, which is in the high category. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 14. Saturday, high of 22, low of 16. Sunday, cloudy, 30% chance of showers, high of 28 and low of 17. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're looking at highs of 27, 29, and 24, and lows of 17, 18, and 19, respectively. For more weather information, log on to seasidefm.com. Current temperature outside the studios of Seaside FM, Eastern Passage, Fisherman's Cove, and Shearwater. It is 15 degrees Celsius, with the barometric pressure reading at 101.5 kilopascals and falling. Humidity is at 92%. That is your Metro Weather Call forecast. And now, a little business with you.
Seaside FM weather brought to you by Parkland Retirement Living. For 25 years, Parkland Retirement Living has invited residents to live their best life in a place that delivers quality service and choice. Enjoy the benefits of an all-inclusive experience with chef-prepared meals, housekeeping, wellness programming, and more. Book a tour at any of our Parkland locations and enjoy lunch on us. Visit experienceparkland.com.
Don't miss the 75th Maritime Fiddle Festival, July 5th and 6th at the NSCC Ivany campus on the waterfront, across from Dartmouth General Hospital. Competition starts Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. and includes 7 fiddle classes and 2 step dance classes. The festival continues Saturday with competition, finals, and awards. 7:30 Friday night, it's the Harborview Jamboree with Kelly Trottier and Kimberly Holmes. 7:30 Saturday evening, there's entertainment with Kelly Trottier, Ivan and Vivian Hicks, Kimberly Holmes, Kendra McGilvery, Kyle Chiron, Adam LeBlanc, and more. For information, see maritimefiddlefestival.ca.
You know, it might be confusing to some, a bit overwhelming perhaps, as to where to invest these days. You know, you should invest. For what's the point of being 5 years older and not becoming at least 5 years richer? Markets may go down, then recover. But wasted time, you just don't get it back. Tune in every Thursday morning at 9:10 to the Financial Destination Show. It will be time well invested. Call 902-499-5879. This is Roger Hamilton. Until next time, stay safe and stay invested.
Do it now. Sometimes later becomes never. Protect your family by pre-planning your final wishes today. Call A.L. Matitol Funeral Home, 217 Portland Street at 902-461-0700. That's 902-461-0700. Caring for your loved ones since 1938. We are a safe place.
Are you in need of excavation and drainage solutions that stand the test of time? Look no further than Don Zachary of Rockbusters. With over 40 years experience, Don is the one you can trust for all your excavation needs. From repairing drainage problems to debris removal, he's got you covered. But Don's favorite? Repairing leaky basements. Say goodbye to damp, musty spaces and hello to a dry, comfortable home. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Don today at 902-499-8857. That's 902-499-8857 for your water to be gone and excavation work to be done.
Eastern Passage Cow Bay, your hometown community station, Seaside FM.
well, if you ever heard the wedding march done in a jazzy way, that is from an album called What a Carry On. Those of you who are of a certain vintage probably know that there were 31 movies over a period of 30 years with a series called the Carry On series. It was a bunch of British actors and actresses who made a lot of these comedy movies with a lot of sexual innuendo. This one coming from Carry On Loving, which was made in 1970. The plot of the movie is basically this. The Wedded Bliss computer dating agency aims to bring together the lonely hearts of much snogging. And this starred so many of the great actors and actresses, British actors and actresses of the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, including Sid James, Kenneth Williams, Hattie Jacques, Joan Sims, and Charles Hawtrey. And that was Gavin Sutherland and the Royal Ballet Symphonia in 2005 doing a wonderful rendition of all of these wonderful soundtracks, because much of these movies relied upon the nuances of the musical sight gags that came along with it. And so that made them. As the series went on, it got a little bit more ridiculous as it went on. But a former boss of mine wanted to watch a Carry On series, and I forgot about them. And so I managed to acquire them, and then heard the soundtrack, and I said, I wonder if the music has actually been released. And sure enough, there it was. So I thought I might play that for you this evening. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude, bringing you music until the program close. That's going to be down the line at 8 p.m., so we got about 19 minutes left. We're going to be hearing sounds now by Jackie Gleason and his orchestra. Jackie was one of the greatest television stars, and he was also a great actor, but in television, that is where he made his name. In the 1950s, he had a variety program called The Jackie Gleason Show, and then between 1955 and 1956, he did 39 episodes of a much-loved sitcom called The Honeymooners with Audrey Meadows, Art Carney, and Joyce Randolph, who I believe is still alive at the age of 100. The Honeymooners itself was a sitcom for only one season, but between 1951 and 1957, they were a range of segments out of the Jackie Gleason variety show. The theme song for Jackie Gleason's Honeymooners was You're My Greatest Love, and here's Jackie Gleason and his orchestra performing that for you right now. the spectrum of music of the Great American Songbook and more. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, the home of good music.
We'd like to invite up a special guest, a friend of mine. How about a round of applause for Rachel Price, everybody?
The very thought of you and I forget to do the little ordinary things everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a queen and foolish though it may seem. To me, that's everything. The mere idea of you the longing here for you. You'll never know how slow the moments go till I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower. Your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love.
John Baptiste in the piano, who is the director of the Stephen Colbert Show, Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and award-winning, Grammy Award-winning, and Oscar-winning musician, along with Rachel Price, doing the great song "The Very Thought of You," which was popularized by the great Nat King Cole and composed by the great Ray Noble, the musician. That one from Anatomy of Angels, recorded live at the famed Village Vanguard in Greenwich Village in New York City. We're going to have one more piece of music before we cut away. This one's sent out for a couple of listeners in Italy who are going on their honeymoon/first anniversary. I think it's about time. They left yesterday, arrived in Italy today, and that is for Amato Nardacchio and Giulia Belfontaine, two of my very dear friends. A while back, a couple summers ago, Amato played a song by Joe Jackson called Steppin' Out, which was a 1982 single that he recorded and made popularized, but Kurt Elling did a wonderful rendition of it, and this one goes out to them. Listening to us by Twitch in Italy for Amato and Giulia, here is Steppin' Out by Kurt Elling.
Mist across the window hides the lines, but nothing hides the color of the lights that shine. Electricity so fine, look and dry your eyes. In our lives, with no more angry words to say, we can come alive. Jump into the car and drive to the other side, stepping out into the night, into the light. Stepping out into the night, into the light. Dress in pink and blue just like a child, and in a yellow taxi turn to me and smile. We'll be there in just a while. Dig the music on the dial. We can swing another mile. We'll be stepping out in style. If you jump and follow me, babe, stepping out into the night, into the light, grooving, grooving, stepping out into the night, into the light, grooving,
The incomparable Kurt Elling and his band with Steppin' Out. Sound for Armato and Julia listening to us in Italy. And I want to thank each and every one of you for listening in and welcoming back after 6 weeks. But I do have some bad news that I will not be back for another couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, because I have a long-deserved vacation, as well as hosting the TD Halifax Jazz Festival next week at the St. Matthew's Church with the great and legendary Jill Barber and her band. So I will be back in late summer, and we'll be having some more great music for you. Till I speak with you again, I'm Charles Hsuen. Thank you for letting me broadcast for you. Good night, everyone.